Right now at 6, triple homicide trial. Jury selection happens today ahead of what's expected to take all week. And the debate over a book ban. GET school leaders will discuss taking a book referencing LGBTQ sexuality off library shelves.
You're watching WKBT La Crosse. This is News 8 Now at 6.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us for News 8 Now at 6. I'm Ken Kozarowski. The trial is underway for a man charged in connection to a 2021 triple homicide. 35-year-old Nia Tao is charged with 3 counts of first-degree intentional homicide and possession of a firearm by a felon as a party to a crime. News 8 Now's Dua Isra was at the jury selection today and takes a look back at the case.
Ken, attorneys took roughly 6 hours to select a jury for Tao this morning.
We begin with the homicide investigation that is underway in La Crosse County.
It was early July morning.
The bodies of 3 young men were found just before 5 o'clock.
Community members say they never thought it could happen in their backyards.
It's too close to home, you know.
24-year-olds Peng Laura Nemo Yang and 23-year-old Trevor Maloney were found dead at the Romskog Quarry on County Highway M. According to the criminal complaint, all 3 men had been shot several times in the head and torso.
Investigators say the 3 men were killed where their bodies were found.
45-year-old Kamthaneth Ratanasak and 35-year-old Nia Tao were arrested shortly after.
Information was provided that the homicides were over a $600 debt.
In the criminal complaint, Ratanasak accused Yang of stealing $600 from him. A relative reportedly offered to pay the debt, but Ratanasak said he wanted Yang's life. A witness told police Ratanasak and Tao forced her to drive the men out to the quarry. Police say Ratanasak handed the gun to Tao, who shot the 3 men.
Both are now in custody in the La Crosse County Jail.
The triple homicide was the first in La Crosse County in nearly 3 decades.
And something like this for a small community, rural area like this, and the nature of the crime that happened.
Both Ratanasak and Tao pleaded not guilty to all charges. Last month, Ratanasak was scheduled to enter a plea, but was delayed. Tao will be back in court tomorrow morning. Ken?
All right, Dua, thank you very much. Tao faces a mandatory sentence of life imprisonment if he is convicted of first-degree intentional homicide.
Well, today was a little bit cooler in terms of our high temperatures this afternoon, as highs were mainly into the 70s, and typically our highs are usually in those upper 70s to low 80s this time of the year. Moving forward, as we head into tonight, our temperatures will be a little bit more seasonable into the 50s and 60s under cloudy skies and slight chances of showers, also possible for some of us as well. Zone forecast in West Salem, 53 tonight, 55 for you in Berry Mills, lows at 53 in Viroqua, 55 tonight in La Crescent, and same temperature in Stoddard tonight as well. Meanwhile, in Arcadia, 53 tonight for you, 51 in Melrose and Blair, Chippewa Valley, low tonight mainly into those low 50s with slight chances of some showers. Now we'll talk more about some of those showers and plus what we can expect for the rest of this week coming up and my full weather forecast in just a few minutes. Back to you.
All right, Derek, thanks very much. Well, activists are speaking out after a committee of leaders at the Galesville-Ettrick-Trempealeau School District voted to take a book off its shelves. That decision has been paused. News 8 Now's Emily Haugen joins us live outside GET High School, where the board will soon be talking policy. Emily?
Ken, last week a committee at GET schools voted to pull the book Queer Ducks, The Natural World of Animal Sexuality from the middle school shelves. The school board members say that vote was taken back because the committee didn't follow correct procedure. That means that they'll have to vote on it again in a separate meeting. The Seven Rivers LGBTQ Connection in La Crosse put out a release condemning the ban. The center's executive director, Alicia Schondelmeyer, said representatives from the center plan to attend the meeting tonight.
I just think it's really important that we go there and stand on the side of, you know, the right thing to do, and the right thing to do is keeping that book in the library.
Schondelmeyer says she believes it's important for marginalized groups to see themselves represented in books. She said she feels banning these types of books sets a dangerous precedent. So it sounds like a decision will not be made tonight. Rather, the board will discuss what the procedure would be for decisions like this. Live in Galesville, this is Emily Haugen for News 8 Now. Ken, back to you.
All right, Emily, thanks very much. That school board meeting is open to the public. It begins at 6:30 in the library at Galesville High. GOP lawmakers and alcohol industry leaders have reportedly been working on a bill over the last 5 years to change Wisconsin's alcohol laws. And now that bill is expected to pass in the next 2 weeks. Craft brewers and large retailers are getting behind the bill, which would lead to stricter enforcement. And the measure would create a new division in the State Department of Revenue to regulate the industry. Wisconsin is one of a handful of states that doesn't have an office dedicated to alcohol laws. The bill has other provisions like requiring venues that sell or allow alcohol at special events, often known as wedding barns, to either get a permit or alcohol license. Craft breweries can sell out-of-state product, and wineries can open earlier in the morning to sell products. Assembly Speaker Robin Vos says the bill has widespread support and is optimistic that the governor will sign the bill. The shared revenue plan being debated in Madison includes $1 billion for Wisconsin's public schools, along with a substantial increase for private schools. The measure raises funding for K-8 private choice schools by $1,100 a student and raises high school funding by roughly $3,000. The money goes directly to private schools as payments for each enrolled student. It's the largest expansion in funding since the program was created. Governor Evers is expected to sign the shared revenue bill into state law. The owner of a partially collapsed building in Davenport, Iowa, pleaded not guilty to a civil infraction for not maintaining safe conditions. Court documents filed today show Andrew Wold was ordered to pay a $300 fine and court costs. The building collapsed over Memorial Day weekend. 3 people were killed, and dozens now don't have a place to live. Wold did not attend the hearing. His attorney entered the plea. A resident of the building is also suing him over that building collapse. A report on the Norfolk Southern train derailment that happened in Ohio is expected soon from the Federal Railroad Administration. That derailment happened back in February. The agency says it will also be investigating all major freight railroads over the next year. According to the administration, in 2022 alone, there were 518 derailments nationwide, causing 5 injuries, no deaths, and more than $100 million in reported damage. Governor Evers signed a contract for repair to a bridge south of Bangor. Work on the Wisconsin 162 bridge over Dutch Creek will begin next Monday. The bridge will get a new concrete overlay along with various other repairs. 162 will be closed and detoured. The Department of Transportation expects the project to be finished by mid-August. A large La Crosse nonprofit is moving to a new location. The Family and Children's Center will move into the former Marine Credit Union on the city's lower north side. That building is at 811 Monitor Street. Getting into a new location was a top priority for FCC's leaders. The nonprofit's president says they wanted a location that's easier for their clients to access.
We wanted to make sure that the building was in a location that was easily accessible to our clients and to our staff. We wanted to make sure that the experience that our clients and staff had in the building was a good experience.
The new building will have larger office spaces and better security. Leaders say the new location will help grow their capacity to handle child abuse prevention and their existing programs. Still ahead tonight at 6, our latest top-notch teacher comes from a Tomah Elementary School, and she makes such a positive impact that she gets to work with the same class for 2 years instead of 1. And later, inflation is still hard on everyone's wallets, but especially for seniors. New data shows they may be falling further behind on paying their bills. Well, school's out for summer, but we are back with our monthly top-notch teacher segment. This month's recipient is Anna Berg from Tomah's LaGrange Elementary. In her 11 years there, she has cemented herself as a leader who can inspire not only her students, but fellow staff as well. Anna Berg certainly wasn't expecting a classroom ovation, let alone be named a top-notch teacher. For the staff who work alongside her every day, it's a no-brainer.
She's a great leader. She works really hard at guaranteeing that every student in her classroom gets high-quality instruction and meets their highest potential.
Crisscross. Awesome.
Berg is a looping teacher, so she teaches a first-grade class and then follows them into second grade.
It's beneficial for my students. I know all them and how they learn.
She says it also strengthens the bond between student and teacher.
They're the most honest. They're the most caring. I get the most hugs. So it keeps me going.
The school has also put 2 new first-grade teachers in her classroom so she can serve as their mentor.
I really enjoy that. It's fun to share my expertise and knowledge with them. Oh, you wrote it already? Jeez Louise.
But maybe the most impactful connection has been her effort to nurture students with special needs.
It's one thing that I strive to do is to get kids with special needs in the classroom as much as possible. That's where they learn from others.
That mentality is what inspired one parent to nominate her.
My son has special needs. He has severe autism, and as you can see, he belongs in that classroom. He's thriving. It can be uneasy sending a special needs child to school, but when I know that he's in her hands, I can rest easy knowing that she's taking care of him and he's learning and succeeding in her classroom.
I just love my job, and I don't see myself doing anything else.
Now, Berg also runs Student Council and is part of the Guiding Coalition. It's a group of teachers there who lead other teachers in various school initiatives. Berg says her support staff is a huge part of her classroom success, and the new first grade teachers watching her are also inspiring her to try new things with her students. If you'd like to nominate a teacher you believe is top-notch like Mrs. Berg, just head to our website and click Top-Notch Teachers under our Features tab. We'll also have the nomination link posted to this article on news8000.com. After the break, Twitter isn't paying its bills. The social media site's safety teams could be impacted if the company doesn't pay up to Google.
I do have rain chances in the forecast for tonight and also into tomorrow. Stay with us here on News 8 Now. I'll have a check on the full weather forecast coming up after the break. Well, today our temperatures were a little bit cooler than average this afternoon as highs were mainly into the 70s. For tonight in La Crosse County, I'm expecting a little bit more seasonable in terms of temperatures as lows tonight will be into the low 50s. 54 in Soldiers Grove, 53 in Westby, and moving back to our central zones, you can see low nights into those low to mid 50s with 50 Black River Falls, but further west a little bit warmer in Arcadia tonight, 53 there for you, and 54 tonight in areas like Trempealeau. Meanwhile, towards the north in the Chippewa Valley, lows mainly into the low 50s there with a chance of some passing showers moving in from the north. So the forecast overall tonight, 55 degrees with cloudy skies, some showers here possible, and north-northwest winds light at 5 to 10 miles an hour. For the day tomorrow, another cool one, 76 degrees being the temperature, and some scattered showers also possible, northwest winds at 10 to 15 miles an hour. A check now on your zone forecast for the day tomorrow in La Crosse County into the mid-70s, 76 in Berry Mills, further south 73 in Soldiers Grove, 71 in Westby, but 68 there in Hillsboro, 73 in Melrose tomorrow, 72 Black River Falls, 69 down south in Cashton, and highs in the Chippewa Valley mainly into those mid to upper 70s with a high of 78 expected tomorrow afternoon in Eau Claire. So taking a look at Sky Tracker as we take you into early tomorrow morning at 5 a.m., we could be waking up to some scattered showers passing in from the north, and you can see that we will be looking at most of those showers here back towards our east as we head into 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. A lot of these showers wrapping around this area of low pressure, kind of meandering across the Great Lakes region as well. So that's why we're kind of going to watch out for some of those passing showers as we head into tomorrow afternoon and also into early tomorrow evening. Now, as we head into early Wednesday morning, you can see most of the precipitation should come to a close. A few passing clouds still very possible, though, even as we head into tomorrow morning, just around the sunrise hour or so. And by 3 p.m. on Wednesday, a couple of scattered afternoon clouds, a couple of light spotty showers are possible near the Chippewa Valley, and then they will continue to move south as we head into Wednesday night. All right, let's get checked now on your 8-day forecast, and you can see that we will be warming up after tomorrow. Highs return to the 80s by Wednesday, and that trend continues throughout the next several days thereafter. And just a mix of clouds and sun. Overall, pretty dry and a warm pattern there after tomorrow, and low temperatures mainly into the 50s and low 60s.
Twitter is refusing to pay their Google Cloud contract. And this contract between the social media giant and Google was signed before Elon Musk became CEO of the company last year. The multi-year contract with Google was supposed to help protect users' accounts as well as fight back against spam accounts. After Musk took over, he requested that Twitter cut infrastructure costs by $1 billion. The spending cuts includes costs on Google services like Google Cloud. New U.S. Census data shows how inflation is impacting seniors. The data shows that almost 4 million adults 65 and older could not pay their medical bills even while they're covered by programs like Medicare. The census data also found that those unpaid medical bills add up to $54 billion. Staying flexible could be key to staying stronger as a senior. Dr. Malika Marshall explains a new study that shows that yoga may help prevent frailty in older adults.
For 76-year-old Patricia Walden, yoga is a way of life.
My life is organized around my practice. I don't schedule anything for the morning unless I'm teaching a workshop.
Walden has been practicing yoga for more than 50 years and says it's given her a leg up.
When you're doing something that's embodied and you're lifting your chest and focusing on your breath, you don't feel your age.
Researchers at Brigham and Women's Hospital and Harvard Medical School have found regular yoga practice reduces frailty in older people. Frailty is a geriatric syndrome affecting as many as half of adults 80 and older.
Frailty is a condition where we might decline more abruptly with something like an infection.
Geriatrician Dr. Julia Lowenthal is the lead study author. She looked at the effects of yoga on frailty markers like walking ability, hand grip, balance, and lower extremity strength.
Yoga seemed to positively impact gait or walking speed and also lower extremity strength most strongly. When people practice about 2 to 3 times a week, that seems to be an effective, what we would call a dose of yoga.
Walden says you're never too old to try something new.
Just give it a try. Give it 2 tries, and you'll get hooked.
This golden warrior says she plans to practice for the rest of her life. Dr. Malika Marshall, CBS News, Cambridge.
Doctors recommend looking for a trained, certified yoga instructor and ideally someone with experience working with older people. After the break in sports, a local basketball standout is getting attention from D1 schools before she's even a sophomore. And the UWL track and field teams went across the country to be honored at the biggest stage. Kate is in next with sports.
Covering all of the exciting action from your community, here's News 8 Now Sports with Kate Overton.
Welcome to News 8 Sports. I'm Kate Overton. Rob has the night off. Tomorrow, a couple of our area baseball teams will take the field in the state baseball tournament. But today, we've got a La Crosse high school basketball player making some noise. Despite playing only 1 season with the Blue Gold so far, Aquinas standout Samantha Davis is a star on the rise. The freshman helped lead her squad all the way to the state championship game in her first varsity season. And now with 3 years still remaining in her high school career, the first D1 offer is already on the table, and it comes from within the state. The UW Green Bay Phoenix from the Horizon League Conference offered Davis earlier today, and with 3 more years to play, this is just the tip of the iceberg for her. Samantha is the younger sister of Johnny and Jordan Davis. The twin brothers played in La Crosse and went on to represent the Badgers, but be on the lookout for Samantha Davis as she is next up. And next up for this year's high school sports is the Ithaca Bulldogs, as they're set to take on Edgar in the semifinals of the WIAA Division IV State Baseball Tournament. This is the first time Ithaca has made it back to Appleton since they brought home a state championship in 2016. And they will look to do it again. As I mentioned, they'll be up against Edgar tomorrow bright and early at 9 a.m. over at Fox City Stadiums. And I will be making the trip nice and early, so we'll have the highlights from this one tomorrow evening. And then later in the day, sometime around 5, the Aquinas Blue Golds will take the field in the Division III semifinals. They enter the game as the top seed and with a 23-2 record. The Blue Golds' only 2 losses on the year come to the hands of Onalaska, but besides for that, Aquinas has been dominant and even beat the number 2 seed, St. Croix Falls, in the last week of the regular season. This is the first time Aquinas has been at state since 2017 when they also brought home a state title. They'll be up against Random Lake, and we'll have the highlights of this one tomorrow night. And some pretty cool scenes coming out of the White House today as the UWL men's and women's track and field team were one of 47 different championship teams from around the states to be honored during College Athlete Day. The men's track team was indoor track champions this past year, and the women's team won both the indoor and outdoor championships for Division III. Also at this event was the Wisconsin Badgers women's hockey team, but you know who wasn't there? The President Joe Biden, as the White House said that the president needed to get the second part of a root canal done. Bummer. That's all for sports. We'll be right back.
Last check on your 8-day forecast for tomorrow. Scattered showers, a high of 76, so cooler than average again with our highs. Now, by Wednesday, I expect high temperatures to warm back up into the 80s. Highs remain to the 80s throughout the rest of the week with a mix of sun and clouds, and low temperatures into the 50s and low 60s.
All right. Thank you very much, Derek. Did we get lost into the void?
Oh, no.
Oh, boy. I don't know if we're ever going to get... There we go.
There we go.
Whew. It got all dark in here. Man, my heart was racing a little bit.
I know.
That's Kate Overton. I'm Ken Kozarowski. We will see you at 10.